So guys, Bitcoin dominance is breaking down. Altcoins are starting to rip if you're in the right altcoins. And right now, there's a few indicators pointing to the fact that alt season is about to start. I want to cover those specific indicators, what you need to be focusing on, what the perspectives are in the space, and exactly if alt season is about to happen. Overall though, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and check out the rest of my content. I'm an intermediate trader documenting my journey, showing you guys my wins, my losses, keeping you guys updated on the markets, on specific indicators that you need to focus on to know exactly what's happening in the markets. Right now, it is really crazy what's happening. Bitcoin dominance is starting to break down. People think that is going to be a huge rip for altcoins, and we are already seeing crazy gains, but I want to talk about it based off of what I'm currently seeing. But other than that, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. So guys, Bitcoin is on the verge of breaking 100,000. Everyone says that Bitcoin is already about to break 100,000 next week based off of the futures and perps that are actually taking place right now, and honestly the whole liquidity shift that is taking place in the markets. Bitcoin dominance is breaking down currently, but I wanted to give my perspective on this, because right now, based off of how Bitcoin dominance is breaking down and how the total 2 chart is performing, everyone believes that altcoins are about to start ripping like crazy. If you just go and look up the search term Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, everyone's thinking that it peaked out at around that 60% mark, 59% mark, and now we're deviating lower, and as a point, everyone is saying alt season is starting. Everyone is saying biggest alt season in history is around the corner. Bitcoin dominance is dropping hard, so if the cycle repeats, altcoins will go parabolic soon. Miles Dutcher gave his perspective on a dominance for a cheat sheet just to understand how everything will move. But overall, guys, the perspective on what's happening and the consensus is that Bitcoin dominance has peaked out and it is dropping down below. But other people like Benjamin Cohen, which are more adverse traders that give more detailed perspective on the price action and everything, he has been talking about how keeping up with the dominance around Bitcoin is super key based off of what's going on right now. And I think he's making a few jokes, but this is because we're around a very key time, and this is where I want to point you guys onto the specific indicators that I'm looking at. So if we look at Bitcoin dominance, guys, and we put the 5-year chart, right? So we want to see exactly what Bitcoin dominance was doing in the previous cycle. And I know we can't really compare it too much, just pretty much based off of how the cycle was going, based off of the ETF tradings, the US Reserve in talks, how huge countries are starting to shift global liquidity into Bitcoin. So it is much different, but I want to point you guys to the fact that whenever we started seeing Bitcoin dominance jump back in the 2021 bull run, guys, bull cycle, back in 2020, this is whenever we started to see Bitcoin dominance start to break down, and then we saw a peak out and then actually break down. This is the point where I want to keep you guys in perspective. We saw a huge rip up for Bitcoin dominance, and it was really crazy, and then from there we had a deviation point, and then from there we had the real peak out for Bitcoin dominance, and then from there we broke out and started breaking down, and that's when alt season started to happen. As you can see, it also happened on the total 2 chart. If we go back into the previous year, you can see how it had an effect with Bitcoin dominance, how altcoins ripped up, then they dropped significantly, and then they had their huge rally. And this is where I want to give you my perspective on this. I honestly think, based off of what we're seeing right now, we're about to start seeing a huge pullback, and you can already see it right now. It's already beginning. I think we're going to see a pullback, and then we're going to start ripping super hard for altcoins. As everyone has been talking, it's going to be around a 6-week shift when that liquidity starts to get out of Bitcoin into altcoins. And right now, if I just take you to altcoins right now, depending on the altcoins you have been focusing on, which right now we've been focusing on meme coins and AI coins mainly, guys. If you look at my portfolio right now, it's jumping up significantly. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that to the side, but overall right now AI coins are popping up significantly right now, and if you're not invested in them, you're really missing out. And if you would have been following me on my YouTube channel, I talked about these coins when they were down significantly. But Conduct's up 108%, Destra up 31%, Hash AI up 62%. And guys, it just gets crazier. These are only the AI coins that I'm currently invested in. But if you start looking at what's currently going on around the space in AI, everything is starting to rip significantly. And it's just because meme coins were getting the huge rally, a huge pump up. But now, the whole sentiment has shifted, and now everything is going into these AI coins. And now, like how I said, based off of the total 2 chart and everything that's going on with Bitcoin dominance, I do believe that this might be a fake out before the huge rally, before we start to to see, you know, exactly the huge pump that we need to see, you know, before, you know, altcoins start to get the liquidity that they need. Bitcoin dominance, I think, hasn't necessarily peaked out. I think we're going to start deviating a little bit lower and then shoot up, and then altcoins are going to get squeezed out like how we saw in the previous cycle, guys. I'm trying to give you my perspective off of the 2021 cycle based off of right now what we're seeing. And, you know, Bitcoin is kind of crashing right now, but it's going to start pumping in the next few weeks or so. So once we start to see that happen, Bitcoin dominance is going to shoot back up, more than likely causing a fake out. Altcoins are going to get squeezed just because they've been pumping very significantly. And as a result, it's going to create a lot of, you know, scary times in the markets. People are going to start getting weird. But overall, Bitcoin dominance right now is, you know, at a point where everyone thinks we're about to see a huge shift into altcoins. And as a result, we are seeing altcoins rip up significantly. But I don't think this is the huge play to automatically shoot up for all season. Bitcoin hasn't even broken 100K. And the moment that it does, retail and everybody else is going to start going freaking crazy. So overall, I want to give you my perspective on what I'm currently doing, just because, you know, I'm a retail trader, intermediate trader, so I'm trying to just give you my perspective while also giving you the perspective of other traders. Crypto Gone John says, when the first inevitable 30 to 40% wipeout on altcoins comes, that's when you want to slam the bids if you've been sidelined. This is more so coins that are traded on CEX, not on chain. And then somebody went ahead and asked, we gonna get that? And then he says, it happens every cycle multiple times. So at the end of the day, guys, these pullbacks happen. And like how I've been showing you on the Bitcoin dominance chart, we saw a huge rip up. Then we saw, you know, that deviation downwards. And then we saw the actual huge pump, which was, you know, the peak out for Bitcoin dominance. And then that start of the shift. Same thing with altcoins. If you look at the total 2 chart, you can see that we had a gradual pump up right here. And then we started to deviate. And then we had our actual huge rip up. So guys, that's why I want to give you my perspective on this. I know right now everyone's getting super bullish, and I hate to be the one that is bearish, and I'm not even bearish. I'm just trying to plan accordingly so that we can maximize on our profits. But overall, Benjamin Cohen is talking about the importance of Bitcoin dominance. Crypto Gone John is giving his perspective on, you know, when the inevitable 30 to 40% wipe on altcoins comes, that's whenever you need to take advantage. And Mustache is also talking about how right now he thinks already, you know, he said 2 hours ago, Bitcoin, this was the last dip before 100K Bitcoin in his opinion. He also says with altcoins, 1 week left for the most exciting bullish cross, and it looks like December could be the month. I hope you are as excited as he is. And he pretty much gave his perspective on the chart that he saw. Altcoins, friendly reminder, the most bullish cross for altcoins hasn't even happened yet. December could be the big month for our bags. Could be, guys. That's why you need to be in this perspective. So overall, let's wipe all that to the side. What am I doing right now with this portfolio that I have on the side with AI coins swept it to the side right now? Overall, what am I doing? Right now, guys, everything is pumping up very, very significantly. And whenever we see these huge pumps, everyone tends to start to de-risk, especially once we start to see a lot of price action start to take action around Bitcoin, because whenever that asset starts to pump up, we see the dominance around it start to shoot up, and then altcoins start to get squeezed because everyone starts to shift their liquidity out of those altcoins into Bitcoin. And now, how am I planning accordingly to this? Well, one of my main positions is up over 100%. So I'm considering taking 20% off of the plate so that I have some dry powder just in case we have a huge deviation. Now, if we rip up very significantly, I only took 20% off of the position, so I won't make too much of a loss. And at the end of the day, whenever we see dips, which they are inevitable, I will just start to reallocate to the coins that I feel deemable. But right now, a lot of people are going to start doing different things. People are going to start aping into coins because they see percentages going up, which is one of the worst things to do. Then other people are going to start de-risking because they want to make as much money as possible. So they want to liquidate where their positions are doing very, very well. And if we start to see a pullback, then they can get in at double the increment, because if we see a pullback of that 100%, think about it. If I sell 20% of my position, more than likely I can get upwards of 40% if we start to see that deviation take place. But this is all speculation, guys. This is all us trading, trying to figure out how to make the most money. And, you know, that's why rotations are super, super crucial in understanding how everything is moving. But overall, I'm gonna go ahead and run through everything again because I don't want to make this video too long and then give you guys exactly the perspective of what I am doing right now. Overall, Bitcoin is trading at $97,000 right now. Everyone is talking about how next week more than likely is going to be the huge rip up for Bitcoin trading above 100,000. That is the mark that we have been talking about, how retail is going to wake up and everything is going to start going crazy. Bitcoin dominance has been starting to chop down. I'm sorry I have us all zoomed in all the way over here, but it has started to break down, which is causing multiple people in the markets to believe that altcoins are going to start to get the liquidity that they need and alt season is about to start. But I try to give you the perspective that over here back in the 2021 cycle, we saw a huge rip for Bitcoin dominance, and then we saw a deviation, and then we saw the actual rally for that dominance before the breakdown and the liquidity shift. Same thing with the total 2 chart, guys. Right now, as you can see, it is peaking quite nicely, but if you look at the previous cycle, it peaked quite nicely in the similar ranges that we're actually at right now. It peaked quite significantly, and then it deviated back down, returning all those gains before having the actual huge shift in the altcoin market, initiating alt season. So guys, right now my portfolio is exploding significantly. A lot of coins are up 40%, 108%, 62%, and as a result, this is causing a lot of speculation as to if you should be de-risking or if you should be double downing because alt season is about to occur. There's a lot of different perspectives on this. Benjamin Cohen has been talking about Bitcoin dominance. Multiple really incremental traders that focus on actual price action and specific indicators have been talking about how it's super key. Crypto God John gave his perspective 48 minutes ago, saying that whenever the first inevitable 30 to 40% wipe on alts comes, that's when you want to slam the bids if you've been sidelined. So guys, alts are going to get that pullback like how we saw in that Bitcoin dominance chart as well as the total 2 chart. Now, Mustache is talking about how, friendly reminder, this could be the most bullish cross for altcoins that hasn't even happened yet. December could be the biggest month for our bags. Could be. This is all speculation, guys. At the end of the day, right now, all the indicators are pointing to the fact that alt season is probably going to start. But based off of what we have seen in previous cycles and right now, I could see this being a slight fake out. Altcoins getting a nice pump up, and then Bitcoin breaking that 100,000 mark, everyone shifting liquidity into there, dominance breaking 61, 62% from what we have already seen. And then from there, we can actually have everything break down. Altcoins get the liquidity that they need, and overall, alt season will start. But this is all speculation, guys. Everyone thinks right now we're going to be ripping up really crazy, and honestly, would really be dope if we do. But as Crypto God says, we are going to see deviations. Multiple people have been saying this. So right now is really a time to determine what you want to do. What am I doing? What am I doing right now with all this news and all the blabber that I just told you right now? I'm considering taking 20% off of my top position because it's up over 100%. Now, I believe that, deviations are going to occur. How long until those deviations happen? I don't know. It could be a couple days. It could be a couple weeks. It could be a week. It could be already tomorrow. We honestly do not know. And that's why I'm considering taking 20% off of my top position. And then from there, having that sidelined dry powder to actually allocate to whatever coins start to drop down, just because if everything starts to return back to where it was, you can get back in at crazy prices. But guys, if you do not know what you're doing, you should not be trying to de-risk. You should not be trying to trade. You should just be allocating money and waiting for the huge rip. Right now, altcoins are still rising up with that total 2 chart that we have been seeing, and the liquidity is still in the midst of a shift based off of the price action that we saw in all-time highs back in March and everything else back in previous cycles. But guys, that is currently what's currently going on. I'm super hyped and honestly very, very skeptical on what's going to be happening in the next few days. But I want to give you guys a specific indicators that you need to focus on, which is Bitcoin dominance, the total 2 chart. You can look at the others chart. You can look at exactly how the sentiment around dominance is actually occurring, and then look at previous cycles based off of when we saw those huge rip ups and then deviations before those huge other tops. But at the end of the day, guys, this is all speculation. I try to give my perspective and give everything based off of actual data that we see, not just my own opinion. A little bit mixed of my opinion with the data that we see. But overall, right now, altcoins are pumping up very significantly. I'm seeing some crazy gains, as I hope you are seeing the crazy gains as well. But right now is a really strong time to really determine what you want to do. based off of what's going on. Overall though, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and check out the rest of my content. I'm an intermediate trader documenting my journey, showing you guys my wins, my losses, keeping you guys updated on the markets, on specific indicators and charts that you need to focus on to understand what's going on. On top of that, giving the perspective that's happening in the space to give you guys a consensus of actually what's going on in a quick video. But overall guys, I'm really psyched. Alt season could be occurring, but at the same time, this could be an actual fake out right before the huge actual rip up. But overall, go ahead and let me know what you guys think. I'm trying to, see exactly when alts are going to rip, and I love seeing everybody's perspective. So go ahead and let me know exactly what you guys think is going to be happening in the next few days. Overall, guys, I've been dropping a lot of content trying to get monetized on this channel, so go ahead and, show me the love. But overall, we're really psyched and keeping up on the day-to-day on everything that's occurring, and everything is pointing to the fact that something big is about to happen. But guys, indicators do not lie, charts do not lie, and keeping up with this data is going to be really key. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead and drop me a comment, like, subscribe, let me know what you guys think of the channel, and everything else in between. And on top of that, guys, I'm gonna keep you guys updated on every single thing that's happening. I drop daily content every day, so stay tuned. If you guys have any questions, suggestions on content, go ahead and drop it down below. But other than that, guys, hopefully I catch you in the next one. Peace.